What up, everybody? After a task force led by U.S. Attorney Stacey Marks made an arrest on the Marquez cartel Mirkovich and Claudia Flynn at the end of Season 2, in Season 3, Episode 1, she was given the opportunity to become the mayor of Chicago by the DNC. Stacy was offered this abrupt opportunity because the current mayor, Mayor Bradley, is dealing with a corruption scandal. Stacy was told she has the full backing of the Democratic Party by DNC Rep. Donna Jackson. And when it comes to the DNC and DNC Rep. Donna Jackson, they're the ones with the real power, going back to OG Power and Power Book 2, and how DNC Rep. Stephen Ott controlled everything that was going on behind the scenes. Stephen Ott from the DNC is also who was protecting James St. Patrick when Ghost was about to be on the ticket as Lieutenant Governor for the state of New York. Stephen Ott warned Jacob Warner, who was the headed criminal for the Eastern District at that point in time, not to pursue a case against James St. Patrick because he was property of the Democratic Party once the press broke that he was going to be on Loretta Walsh's ticket as her lieutenant governor. And to show you what kind of power that the DNC has, because Jacob Warner didn't know who he was about to offend, when he continued to pursue legal action against Ghost, he was fired from his job, and I'm pretty sure Stephen Ott said there was going to be legal charges filed against him as well. After Ghost was shot, Stephen Ott made the call for Tate to run for governor instead of Loretta Walsh, and he controlled the whole narrative in Season 1 of Book 2, with Tasha being charged with the Queen Pin case. And ultimately, when Tariq blew up everything in the courtroom, it was Stephen Ott who decided to pin Ghost's murder case on Tommy Egan. And personally, I believe it was Stephen Ott and the DNC who helped Ghost fake his death and set up his big smoke and mirrors funeral. And that's a topic I've discussed more thoroughly in other videos. So with Donna Jackson being from the DNC, we got to believe that she's connected to Stephen Ott. And obviously, since Force is in Chicago and Stephen Ott lives in New York, that's why Stacy's dealing with Donna Jackson instead of Stephen Ott. But with this being an election, that could potentially be not during the regular election season, and with Chicago being one of the largest cities in the USA, it will also be important for the DNC to focus their attention on this specific election. In this specific election, because the fact it might not be during regular election season could potentially even get national press. But with that said, there hasn't been a Republican mayor in the city of Chicago since the 1920s. So if anything will determine who becomes the mayor, it will be the primaries. And that's why the DNC will play a key role behind the scenes in who actually becomes the mayor. And this is why Stacey Marks will have to play politics and keep them happy. And that's why either though Stacey Marks was pissed off that she got played at the end of Season 2 and Tommy's still a free man, once she got this opportunity and was told not to worry about Tommy Egan but to focus on landing the RICO case, Tommy was no longer her priority. Because like I said, Stephen Ott made the decision on the spot for Tate to run for governor instead of Loretta Walsh. So we got to believe that Donna Jackson will have the same type of authority in Chicago. So if Stacey Marks' RICO case goes left, she'll be under more pressure from the DNC, and Stacy could turn her attention back to Tommy Egan and CBI with the intention of making an arrest on them expeditiously. And when it comes to Stacey Marks and her position within law enforcement, she's the U.S. attorney and the head of whatever district Chicago is in. This is similar to the position in OG Power that was first held by Frankie, then Mike Sandoval, then Angela Valdez, and after she died is when Jacob Warner took over. And the last known person to have that position was Cooper Sachs, who was forced to resign by none other than Stephen Ott from the DNC. So if Stacy doesn't play her cards right with Donna Jackson, it won't just cost her a shot at mayor, but it could also cost her her job. Another DNC connection that could potentially come back into the picture is Ramona Garrity, who was introduced onto the scene in Power Season 6 as a political advisor for Rashad Tate's governor campaign. And there's been a lot of speculation. Where's Ramona been since the end of Power, as she hasn't been seen on the screen since? After Ghost was shot, Tate blamed his affiliation to James St. Patrick on Ramona, and also said that she had a sexual relationship with Ghost as well. And the last time Ramona was seen on screen, she was confronting Tate for doing that. Helping with Stacey Marks and her governor campaign could be a way to write Ramona Garrity back into the storyline, and her connection to Ghost would make things very interesting moving forward. Keep it in mind that Force showrunner Gary Lennon teased bringing back an OG Power character in Season 3, and with Stacey's political campaign, this leaves the door open for Ramona to be that character. Keep it in mind that Donna Jackson from the DNC told Stacy that they would handle the press. Ramona could potentially be who they bring in to do that. And with Stacey Marks getting into the political realm and her connection to the DNC, could Stacey Marks also be connected to Rashad Tate? Keep it in mind that in Season 2, Stacy said she had her own people in DC, and Rashad Tate is currently in DC as a congressman. So Stacey Marks running for mayor also leaves the door open for a potential Rashad Tate crossover. I mentioned in a video a while back that Lorenz Tate was in Chicago during the time that Force Season 3 was filming, and this is a known fact. He made posts on IG being at a Chicago Sky basketball game and different things like that. But Lorenz Tate's hometown is Chicago, so that could have also been why he was in Chicago at the time. But Lorenz Tate being from Chicago is all the more reason why we could potentially see Rashad Tate make a cameo in Season 3 of Force. In addition to that, on the day that the finale of Ghost aired, Lorenz Tate made a post on his IG that said, "Rashad Tate, patience is powerful," with the word power in all caps. What I believe was a cryptic message that we could be seeing Rashad Tate again, potentially because he's already filmed to be in Force Season 3. Also keep in mind, when OG Power ended, there was originally supposed to be 4 spin-offs, but the Rashad Tate spin-off called Influence was cancelled and never even got a first season. But with that said, it's been reported that Starz has a show called Kingmaker in the works. Kingmaker said to be set in the world of DC black political elite. And to me, this sounds a lot like what Rashad Tate's show Influence was supposed to be, even though there's no confirmation that this show has any connection to the Power universe. But this could definitely end up being what Influence was supposed to be to the Power universe, with Rashad Tate as either the main character or one of the leads, especially now that he's in DC as a congressman. If this isn't an extension of the Power universe featuring Rashad Tate, this would be Starz really dropping the ball, in my personal opinion. But the reason why this show might not have been announced that it was part of the Power universe is because they could be keeping it a secret to be announced after the final season of Force airs, similar to how Ghost, Force, and Raising Kanan weren't officially announced as spin-offs until after the conclusion of OG Power. But in regards to Stacey Marks becoming mayor, I do think that she'll end up winning and being mayor of Chicago, because in the cast interviews, Miriam Hyman, who plays Stacey Marks, was asked to give one word that describes her character's season, and she said victory. Before episode 1, I thought this could have meant that she takes down Tommy, but now after watching episode 1, I definitely think she'll win mayor. And there you have it. Leave your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments.